Hello, everyone, and welcome to Camping with Lenny. In this episode, safety tips for solo camping.
This episode is brought to you by me, Camping with Lenny. Help me create great content by supporting this podcast by buying me a cup of coffee at buymeacoffee.com/campinglenny. Thanks for your support.
Be safe while solo camping. So I'm going to give you guys a list of items that I normally go through, especially when I go solo camping. And this list I'm going to give you guys can be used for car camping or backcountry camping. So this is just tips for you guys to use as a starting point. You can expand this list pretty easily. If you do, please go to campingwithlenny.com, podcast 29. There you can leave your comments there because I want to hear from you guys. I want to start this conversation regarding what do you do, or what do you put in your list for your safety tips when you go solo camping, backcountry, or car camping. Sorry about that. Yeah, it'll be so much fun to see what you have here. So my first one on my list is plan and prepare. The reason why I have that first one is very important because you want to go to places that you are feeling safe for, especially if you're going first time camping. You have to go to a campsite that has everything you need just in case there's an emergency. And make sure you prepare yourself. Make sure you have everything you need when you go camping, everything from sleeping bag, tents, food, chairs. I've gone camping without a chair one time, guys, and it's miserable. Okay. What else? Make sure you have all your clothes with you and all that good stuff. So make sure you prepare your stuff going to camping and plan it properly. Make sure where you're going to go, if you need gas or how many times you have to gas up, all the way to is there a grocery store nearby the campsite just in case you forgot something. So plan yourself. Make sure that where you're going to go camping is the area very well. Okay. Next in my list is never advertise that you are alone. I know it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard. This tip right here is kind of hard to do because if you are going solo camping, it's pretty obvious that you are by yourself. But there's a way you can make sure that passerby can see that, oh, there's another person there. What I have done in the past is I actually I brought a spare camping chair, the cheapo ones and all that good stuff. I've actually put it in front of the campsite and I put two of them, right? And that gives you the illusion that there is another person with you when you go camping, right? And when you go to the bathroom or when you're hiking, don't advertise or don't tell random people that, hey, I'm alone by myself here, I'm going solo camping. Definitely not recommend that, especially if you're a first timer, because you don't know how to it can be very dangerous. I think that's the best way to describe it. It can be very, very dangerous if you constantly advertise that you are a solo camper like I do. So don't follow my advice on this one. But for me to make sure that I am safe is sometimes I bring an extra pair of chair, right? And put it in front of the tent or in front of my campfire, and gives the illusion there's two people there. What I've also do is I put two jackets, a sweater and a jacket. Again, that gives you the illusion that there's another person with you. Okay. So the next one on my list is be aware and be alert. For me, saying that is for me to have that on my list is actually pretty good, because when you go to a campsite, be aware where your campsite are relatively to where the bathroom is, where the water faucet is, where the exit is, where's the faster way to get out of the campsite just in case there's an emergency evacuation, for example. And also be alert. Don't have music blasting constantly, because one, it is very annoying if you're going campsite. Second is listen. Open your ears and listen around you. If you hear something that's not correct, then be aware and be alert for it, ready to go, right? And if you are going to go backcountry, make sure that you're aware, at least somewhat memorize your route out, right? Just to be sure that you're aware that if something goes wrong or anything like that, you can get out pretty easily. Also, make sure that you look at your local park rangers notification regarding if there's a forest fires or there's bears alert, if there's anything like that. At least be aware that when you go into the campsite, you have that awareness that there's something's out there, but just be alert, right? That's the best thing to do. The next one on my list is inform a friend or family where you're going to be going to. For me, I tell my wife where I'm going to go camping. I literally give her the receipt of the campsite I'm going to. She knows exactly what site I'm going there, what the name of the provincial park is. Literally showed her exactly where it is in the map. Also, she has access to the phone numbers of the park rangers just in case as well too. Also, if you are going backcountry, there's ways you can keep your friends and family informed where you are. For example, if you're using Garmin InReach and you do have the service that can be update your location every 5 minutes, for example, or every hour, at least that will give your friends and family an idea where you are in that location. But if you are only going car camping, definitely have just let them know where you're going camping. Also, if you do have, like, for example, I use an Apple device, I do have find a friend or find a device turned on when I go camping. So when my wife actually has access to my iPad, she can actually just find out where I am and with my AirTag itself. So that's one of the things that I use to make sure that my wife knows where I am when I go camping. Okay. The next one in the list is weather. Check your weather forecast. That is the most important thing here. Always check your weather forecast. Where you go, always check. How long you're gonna be, you can check. There's great apps there. Here in Canada, we can use the weather network. There we can find exactly what's actually the weather actually happening in that location. Also, Windy. The website Windy, I use that to double check if there's any precipitation coming into that area for the next 48 hours to 72 hours. So at least I know, especially wind or anything like that, so I know where the wind's coming from. So I can, again, that's another data set points that I use to determine how bad the weather is going to be or how great the weather is going to be, especially if it's going to be in a spring and a fall camping situation. I also mentioned in my last episode regarding GPS, why I carry GPS in my camping trips, is because of barometric pressure. My GPS actually has a barometric pressure indicator, so it will tell me exactly if the temperature is very high, this means it's a sunny day. Sorry, low, it's a sunny day. If it's high, it's going to be a weather storm coming in. So I use that to confirm the weather forecast. What I'm planning to do for this season is actually going to get a temperature gauge, indoor outdoor temperature gauge that I can get in Canadian Tire, and they're not that expensive. That actually has a barometric pressure built into that unit itself, so I know the temperature within the tent and the outside the tent, because FYI, I used to ride on motorcycles, and for me, weather is a key thing. For me, I need to know the weather constantly. So if it's a riding day, if it's a car day, so that's why I got my obsession regarding weather and all that good stuff. So that's why I'm getting temperature for outdoors and indoors to just gives me the ability to know what the weather is on the site, right? The next one on my list is bring a first aid kit. Bring a first aid kit. This is a no-brainer. Everywhere you go, especially camping, make sure you have a first aid kit. Doesn't matter if it's one of those big honky ones or the small ones. Make sure that when you get your first aid kit, open it up. Learn how to use it. Right? And you never know that if you get a small cut in your finger, that cut can be something minor or something major if you don't treat it properly as soon as you get it. Remember, you are in the elements, you are outdoors, and there's things can happen. There's things can crawl into your cut. So make sure that you do have a proper first aid kit. Look at it. Learn how to use it. And also, if you do have already a first aid kit, open it up and see what is expired. That's what I'm going to do before I go camping soon, because I want to make sure that it's up to date and ready to go. Okay, so the next one on the list here is, if I remember correctly, this is my number 7th now, contacts. Contact information for the park ranger or park staff. This is very important. Each if you go to a campsite and there's an issue with your campsite, or there's just someone decide to sing karaoke in the middle of the night after drinking a 2-4 or anything like that, so you need to let the park ranger knows that, hey, this guy is partying. You need to come in and shut them down, for example, or if they pass their noise curfew, for example. And also, if there's an emergency, you can contact them as well. I've been to some camp places that if there's an emergency, we just call 911, right? And some places I've been to, there's actually a phone number dedicated just for the park ranger that's out there for 24 hours, so we can contact them at any time. So when you check in, always take a gander, take a look at the check-in area to find out there's a phone number. If there isn't, just ask for the phone number. They're willing to give it to you. Some places actually has a brochure that has all the contact information. In Ontario parks, if you go to the bathroom actually has a bulletin board, and that's where all the emergency contacts as well there too. So take a snapshot of that or write it down. At least you have an emergency for it. Okay. Number 8. Yeah, this is number 8. Yeah. Create an emergency plan. This is actually, I should put this create emergency plan and be aware and be alert should be together, in my opinion. The reason why I'm saying that is if there's an emergency, if there's an evacuation, you need to know how to get out, right? Making a plan regarding emergency is a good thing as well too. So what I normally do is when I show up in camp is I take a minute, open the map of the campsite, and make a mental note where the emergency exits are. So when you have to leave, you can just run there or walk there or grab your car and go. For me, that's a very important thing for me because I need to know exactly where they are. Again, this is for to make sure that I'm safe, right? And if you are with your family and friends, and if you have kids with you, it's nice to know that it's going to be an automatic thing just in case there's an emergency. You can evacuate pretty easily. So always create an emergency plan regarding how to leave the campsite and where to head to if there's an emergency. For example, if you need to leave your campsite and you have to check in the hotel, at least you know where the nearest hotel is. So that's a big thing too. Okay, this is my last one. My last tip for solo camping is relax and have fun. For me, camping solo is a very eye-opening experience, especially for me. Last year was my first time I went camping by myself without friends and family. I 100% of the time before last year was camping with friends and family. But this time I was by myself. My first day I did it, I was nervous. I was like, what am I doing here? Why do I don't have anybody here with me just to experience this? But after the first night, I come to relax a bit more and start having fun. I start walking around, hiking, trying new things regarding food-wise, trying new gear, and just having fun and don't be afraid to put your feet up and just sit there and do nothing. That's the fun part of camping. It's for you to relax and have fun. If this is your first time going solo camping and you're an urban person like I am, it's a great stress relief, especially if you're close enough that you can go camping in the middle of the week between work days. Wow, it is a great experience, and have fun. Bring games. Go hiking. If you want to hike for the first time, go hiking. Bring your bike. Just do whatever you want to do and just have fun with it. So those are my safety tips for solo camping. Hopefully gives you an idea what my list is. Plus, it gives you an idea what to start your list is when you go to your first camping trip for this year. I do want to hear from you guys. So if you go to campingwithlenny.com /podcast /NO-029, that's episode 29. There you can leave your comments there. I do want to see you guys leave your comments there because I want to start this conversation. I want to start this community of solo campers, first time campers, and just to have fun. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing, consider supporting this podcast by buying me a cup of coffee, link in the description. You can also visit campingwithlenny.com. There you can find other episodes and links that can help you on your next camping adventures. Thanks again.